Well, this happened. It looked like Pacers were on an easy cruise to another victory, but no. Karl Towns, that man right there, decides to wake up in the fourth.
Fight back, Cat.
24 points, 15 rebounds. 20 of those points, by the way, did come in that fourth quarter. JALEN Brunson finished with 23. This was an insane game because it really was a nice, slow, easy Pacers victory. It looked like that's where we were headed. And then here we are, the Knicks. Third time in this postseason to come back from 20 points down, which is insane to me. It's the first time that's happened. Lou, I don't even know what to say anymore. These getting down 20 and having to come back, it's exhausting. It makes for fun, but
can't be part of the plan.
Yeah. It can't be part of the plan.
I think early on, Indiana found success in getting early baskets in a transition. That's who they are. They're a fast break basketball team. They like to score in under 6 seconds, and they had a lot of success doing that in the first half. I think second half they got stagnant offensively, and they allowed the New York Knicks to get back in the game based on that. And Cat was a big part of that. You know, Cat going off for 20 in the fourth quarter. Of his 24 points, they needed somebody to step up and beat it, especially with those guys being in foul trouble, looking like they were going to go down 3-0. But they didn't stop playing. They didn't stop playing, and you got to give these guys credit. They got a lot of different things from a lot of different guys. OG went 4 for 6 from the three-point line. That was something that they needed. But the way that Cat played, he attacked the rim. He was at the three. He put the ball on the floor. Did everything that they needed for them to have an opportunity to win the game. A big fourth quarter, 20. But I think Indiana did them some favors by getting stagnant on the offensive end, not figuring out where they could score the basketball. Siakam was great in the mid-post, but other than that, they didn't get a lot offensively, and this is a game that I feel like they would consider that they dropped, especially having an opportunity to go up 3-0 on their home floor, being up 20, big opportunity that was missed.
Yeah, thinking about being down 2-0 on the road, your best player gets his 5th foul. They have every excuse to pack this in.
And the other guy has 4 points.
Every excuse to pack this in. Like Lou said, Karl Towns, Minnesota fans are going nuts right now watching these highlights because he has 20 of his 24 points. And the way he did it, just with his getting to the rim, with his step-back 3 was crazy, drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line.
He did everything.
Exposing mismatches. And he's always been this good. This is why I think the frustration of why did we trade this guy where he fits. I mean, look, watch your head.
It's like a resume reel.
He gave us a little bit
Don't
of
do the faces.
That's everything. That's the whole bag.
He showed us why he is an elite, talented offensive scorer. He showed why that people were confused at this trade initially because he fits so well with Ant and Rudy. But this is what he does. This is what he was brought here to do. And with their best player out, JALEN Brunson out, he stepped up big time on the road and made play after play. And they got stops. And the Pacers were 5 of 25 from 3. They shot 20% from 3. So it's crazy that they even just got that lead. But like Lou said, they went away from what they were doing. They stopped getting early baskets. They slowed down their offense. That's not who the Pacers are. They play fast. They play a lot of pick and roll. And they make a lot of threes. They didn't do either of that once they got the lead.
The Cat thing is crazy because he was on his way to getting roasted. Like, that was such a bad 3 quarters, and then he just blossomed and became a superstar right there in the fourth. I'm wondering, though, by the way, the plus 12 with JALEN Brunson on the bench. This is the second time in these playoffs where he's been in foul trouble, he's been on the bench, and you expect the Knicks to sort of suffer when he's on the bench. That's not what's been happening, as a matter of fact. Charles Barkley said he needs to get off the ball more for the Knicks to be successful. Hot take, Chandler.
And I think he's right. I think it's exhausting, like Anthony Edwards was talking about in that series. When you have just so ball dominant, it lets the defense set up. It shows your cards. And I think, again, they have guards off the bench that they finally played. They played DeLon Wright, Deuce McBride. Let them kind of initiate the offense and have JALEN Brunson kind of come off these staggers, these pin downs, kind of creating the second side pick and roll action where there's no nail help, where there's no blow guy, and let him kind of pick you apart and get in the paint. He's so good at the opposite, where he has the ball, his usage rate is so high, but they have a lot of guys, and credit to Thibs. He actually played DeLon Wright 13 minutes. He played Shamet 11 minutes. Like, this is what this team can be more complete than what we've seen. And again, as good as JALEN Brunson is on the ball, they have these setup guys to let him do other things and play off the ball. Especially as get to the weak side. You know, second action, always talking about you go to this side, go to the other side. They never do that. It's always just JALEN Brunson get in the paint and let him create. Now, Sunday night, they had the opportunity to do both, and it worked.
I'm wondering, Lou, you know, obviously when you talk about Thibs, there are certain things that we just keep talking about, and one of them is the fact that he doesn't use the bench really much at all, and then now he finally does. I live in a no-regrets life. I don't think we should look back and think what he should have done, but the fact that he did do this and it seemingly worked, do we expect to see more?
You understand that he had to.
He had to
because Jalen Brunson being in foul trouble. But again, it worked out. You know, you found a guy in DeLon Wright that can steady the offense for you. Shaman made a big shot. He only had 2 attempts, but he made one of them, and that's what you need him to do. If he's going to be on the floor, you got to be a tool. You got to be an asset for the team. And we know that Landry Shaman can shoot the ball. I'm curious to know what he's doing with Cameron Payne. I thought that Cam could be one of those guys that can kind of equalize T.J. McConnell. They kind of play the same brand of basketball. They're energy guys. They're there to junk up the game. They're there to make open shots, make it difficult on the defensive end. But T.J. McConnell has been winning that matchup, you know, so he went in a different direction. But again, if Thibs can do this all over again, I'm willing to bet that DeLon Wright doesn't play 13 minutes tonight. I'm willing to bet that Shaman doesn't play 11 minutes tonight.
Especially if Brunson's not in foul trouble.
Especially if he's not in foul trouble. And back to the Brunson point, I do agree with Charles. He's bringing the ball up. He's going ISO first. Then he's coming off a pick and roll. If that doesn't work, now he's backing the guy down. You're burning out the whole shot clock. And again, if your offense is going to get stacked, if Cat doesn't have the fourth quarter that he had, again, we're having a completely different conversation. I love the fact that basketball is a game of inches, and we can talk basketball from moment to moment. But he has to find ways to get easier baskets. He has to find ways to be effective in the mid-range, in the post-up, without it being so time dominant in this game, especially with a team that loves running out on your misses.
Can we talk Pacers for a second? Because this was a bit of the taste of their own medicine. I think we've gotten so used to them with the drama, the fact that they were the ones that blew this big lead and missed out really on a huge opportunity to be up 3-0 in the series. By the way, they've lost Game 3 in every series this postseason, which is interesting. And obviously it has not done them too poorly, because here we are. But will this haunt them, Chandler?
I don't know if it'll haunt them. I think obviously they're going to learn, and they did a lot of things well and good enough to win this game. They were up literally 20 points. Like they played well enough to do this. They just have to sustain that. They have to continue to get stops and do what they do. Do not fix what's not broken, right? They keep playing fast, keep playing pick and roll, continue to let Siakam do what he does in the post, continue to let Halliburton kind of dissect the defense, play pick and roll, get downhill, and let these other guys that make shots that have been making shots. Neesmith's been great. You know, Shepard's been getting more minutes. So they have their role players have been doing everything. Toppin and McConnell have been great off the bench. So again, could it haunt them if they go and lose the Game 4 now and every road team has won? So it could possibly haunt them, and you're going to look back to this where, man, we were up 20 and had a chance to close it out in a sweep. No one predicted that, but I think they'll learn from this. I think obviously they'll be better because they won this game for 35 to 48 minutes. They just have to find a way to close it, and the Knicks are really good at not letting the team close it.
Yeah,
really
this can go so many different ways, right? Like we'll determine tonight whether this is going to be a dream or a nightmare. Because if they go up 3-1 tonight, they're going to say, damn, we could have had this thing over with. We had a great opportunity to win Game 3. If the Knicks win tonight, now you're looking at a tied series going back home, and you're like, we could have put this thing out of reach. We could have gave ourselves some breathing room. Now we got a brand new series that's going to go 3 games, and we're going to have to win out from there. So this thing can go a lot of different ways. But right now, I'm going to say yes because, again, you had an opportunity to go up 3-0. You've had the momentum this entire series, the way that you've been playing. You take 2 games on their home court. You drop 1 on yours. Even if you win this game tonight, you put yourself in a great position, but you still can look back and say, I could have got this thing over with.
You could have avoided going back to New York in the Garden.
Absolutely.
Like, it's a whole thing.
Absolutely.
Also, these coaches are coaching. They're switching up the rotation. They're switching up starting lineups. Thibs. Karl's going with Bradley now instead of Bryant. Like,
by the way, do you like the starting lineup switcheroo?
You know what? I don't hate it. I think what you just want to see is you want to see adjustments. You want to see coaches make in-game changes that help the team. This clearly provided some sort of spark. This
Part off the bench is like energy.
I like. Listen, 9 rebounds off the bench. Like his impact, it never jumps off. It never jumps off the board. But like when he does these things, he had a big offensive. He had a big offensive rebound where he was in there mixing it up, threw it out to Cat for a big 3-pointer. That's what you need from a guy. So especially if you don't need him to score in that starting lineup, let's get some size. Let's get Mitchell Robinson in there to give us a size, give us a different look, and let him be the energy guy coming off the bench. I like that adjustment. Let's see if it pay off for them again.
And you know you're not going to lose a guy like Josh Hart. He's still going to play his minutes. He's still going to play 34 minutes. He's still going to do what he does, whether he's in the starting lineup or not. He's probably going to be in the game in the closing lineup. So you're not going to lose a guy like that.
By the way, the social media that Josh Hart would jump into a volcano if it meant he could get the offensive rebound. Like, there have been some fun on social media because he's insane. He throws his body everywhere. He's on the ground half the time. It's crazy to watch. All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, the All-NBA teams were released. We will dissect that next.
Run it back, yeah. Run it over, run it back, yeah.